I often think back to that moment, wondering how something so small could unravel everything I understood about myself and my boundaries. Until I found myself walking up the stairs, drawn by a faint, almost forgettable sound, one you could easily dismiss. Maybe I should have turned away, pretended I hadn't noticed the slightly open door, ignored that subtle pull of curiosity. The house wrapped in quiet stillness, making every sound feel louder. Elliot was upstairs as always. Nothing unusual, nothing that should have made my heart beat faster as I approached his room. But when I reached the door and saw that narrow gap, I hesitated before stepping closer. Something inside me shifted in a way I couldn't explain. And when I finally saw him sitting there, absorbed in his own world, unaware of my presence, the realization of what I had walked into hit me. It wasn't just the moment itself, it was the way it forced me to confront something I wasn't prepared to face. Something that lingered in the air even after I quietly stepped back, my pulse racing, my thoughts tangled, my sense of normalcy slipping through my fingers as if it had never really been solid to begin with. When our eyes met, even for that brief second, the embarrassment, the shock, the unspoken understanding, it all passed between us, without a single clear sentence. That it would pass, that we would both pretend it never happened. But the truth settled in quickly. Something had changed. Something irreversible, and no amount of silence could undo it. And when we finally found ourselves in the same room again, the distance between us felt different, charged, fragile, like something invisible had been broken and neither of us knew how to fix it. I told myself it was just awkwardness. But when Elliot approached me later, his voice hesitant, his apology sincere, I realized it wasn't that simple, because in trying to ease his embarrassment, in trying to act normal, I had unknowingly crossed into a space where the usual boundaries no longer felt as clear as they once did. And when he admitted that he had once seen me in a similar moment, something shifted again. Something deeper this time, like a door opening that should have remained shut. From that point on, everything between us carried a different weight. A subtle awareness that neither of us acknowledged but both of us felt, as if nothing had changed. Something neither of us fully understood or controlled. Shared moments that lingered just a second too long, laughter that felt different, heavier somehow, as if it carried something unspoken beneath it, that had once existed so naturally. My thoughts circling back to everything I had tried to ignore, I found myself standing outside his door again. And though I told myself I was only there to talk, to finally address what had been building between us, seeing him there, unaware, peaceful in a way that contrasted sharply with the storm in my mind. Everything that had quietly reshaped how we saw each other. Until the night everything finally came to a head, when Elliot returned home unsteady, his usual composure replaced by a raw honesty. That cut through every layer of denial I had built. The reality of how far things had gone became impossible to ignore. I tried to remind myself of what was right, of what should matter, but the truth was, those lines had already blurred long before that night. Afterward, as the house fell silent again, but the lines had already been crossed, and no amount of reflection could undo that. I realized that this wasn't just a single mistake or a fleeting moment, it was the beginning of something far more complicated. Something that would ripple outward, affecting everything. And as I lay there, staring into the darkness, I understood one thing with absolute clarity.